Last night I dreamed of Nazim. If I don't burn, if you don't burn, if we don't burn, how will darkness come to light? Paolo was opposite him. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in aid of you. That's what he shouted. My grandfather looked at them and scratched his head. I know one thing, girl. People get old when they stop seeing the next day. Intellectual leaps of some out-of-tune minds. That's what I told them. Did you all hear me? Your life is written in decades. I don't know who said this. I'm a mess. How many, Nazim? How many decades, Paolo? Grandpa? How many? And then I open my eyes. I'm back in the second decade of my life. I get in my friend's car and decide to die. What an asshole. But that night he was the right asshole to be with. Every day he's one step ahead of death. But he always gets off. I hope the day he finally meets his death will be this day. That's why I get in. But even this day is not the right day. We drink a bottle of rum, we take all the pills we can find, and we race around the sharp bends on the island. What the hell? Won't there be a bend we'll go straight on? And yet, not one. There is not a single fucking bend. That's it. I don't want to see him again. Neither him nor his non-existent cock. And now what? Do I have to wait another 55 years until I die? Assuming the average life expectancy is 75 years, I want exactly 55 more years. Too many years. Too many, Grandpa. I enter the third decade of my life. I lock myself in the room, turn my beloved Rory up loud. I listen to Moonchild. I take a bottle of pills, and I wait. Until it comes. Not what I expected, but disgusting vomit from the gastroenteritis. Death is postponed again. I still have 45 years left, and it's still a lot. I sweat my guts out at work. I stay out late. I walk endless miles to Panepistimiou Street, to Fifth Avenue, to Oxford Street, to Istiklal, but I don't get a wink of sleep. I try everything. There's no cock I haven't taken, indiscriminately and without precautions. No cocktail of heroin, cocaine, and amphetamines I haven't tasted. Shots of tequila that I haven't sucked. I'm in Basel. I walk on Steinengraben. I don't know what or how much I've drunk. My bag falls and I bend down to pick it up. At the same time, Tahir bends down with me. He's a Kurd without legal papers. He gives me the bag and starts telling me about the PKK. Then he begins to recite. Someone tells me, you'll catch fire from your own voice. You'll become ashes. Ashes like Kerem, who burnt up from his love. And once again, Nazim makes the scene. There's only one way to shut him up. I pull Tahir into a dark alley. He's on fire and Nazim goes away. And 10 more years pass and I'm still here. 35 years left. There's still a lot, Grandpa. Then I met Mary, 10 years younger than me with dreams for the next day. If you knew her, she would be your favorite, Grandpa. Poor girl was in love with her boss. How unusual. As a teenager, I read a lot of romances, just like Mary, and they all had their own happily ever after. But Mary's was not written in a book. She had read Paolo. She believed that the universe would conspire in aid of her. She dreamed of the day when her rich boss would look at her and finally fall madly in love with her. Actually, he fell for her, but just for a one-night stand. Then he fired her. And then Mary stopped dreaming. Do you hear me, Grandpa? Even Mary stopped dreaming. She climbed up to Kuala Lumpur. She ascended the Petronas Towers, 453 meters high. Little Mary. Don't forget to remember me to my grandpa. Ask him if senescence meets someone in their 40s, and send me an email with his reply. The truth is that I envied her luck that she'd gone early. That same night I dreamed of Mary and Tahir. Franz was standing next to them. They say that dreams are a projection of the unconscious. What do they all want in my unconscious? Mary, Tahir, Nazim, Paolo, Franz, why do they mess with me? My dreams are none of their business. In the morning I'm on the Royal Road. I see Franz in front of me. I try to pass him. He takes my hand. Just when you think you've reached the limits of your potential, you suddenly discover new strength. Just like that. Him too. As if the others were not enough for me. As if I hadn't seen everything life has to show. I look ahead, go forward, and see the next day. And I like it. Honestly, I like it. So suddenly, Grandpa, without any warning, like the unconscious found its way. I don't know how, but it was so sudden. As if I just noticed for the first time what didn't exist till then. I'm telling the truth. It was the first time I saw him. It was the first time I felt in love. At that moment, everything changed. I start counting the years to come in days. 365 by 35 years is 12,775 days. I have 12,775 whole days ahead of me. Few. Very few, Grandpa. I turn into Mary and Tahir. I become Kerem of Nazim. I'm on fire, and I wait for Paolo to be verified. I'm waiting for the universe to conspire in aid of me. Hey, Franz, I'm also waiting for you. I'm waiting for the new strength you promised me. 11,680 days left. And I'm still waiting. And I'm in San Elise. And I see him again through my window. And he looks at me through his own. We look at each other. I don't know for how long. But something's missing from the picture. It's me that's missing, not him. The only cock I didn't take. The only cocktail I didn't swallow. The only glass I left full. Grandpa, the years have started to be a lot again. How many decades, Grandpa? How many more? I can't climb a bridge to be like Mary. I can't get into some asshole's car to drive straight on the curve. I'm forced to be here. It's not a dream anymore. It's not even a film. How did you all fucking make it, Mary? How did you? I will write my funeral speech. I'll write that the next day will never come. That I was right, after all. Neither Nazim, nor Paolo, nor Franz, nor even you, Grandpa. The next day will never come. That's what I'll write.